I feel like a lot of times the hardest part in life is simply getting started, whether that's going to the gym, doing a homework assignment, me editing this video, me starting to film this video. A lot of times the hardest part in life is simply just getting started. And I feel like getting hung up at the getting started stage a lot of times brings apprehension, brings anxiety, and can even lead to kind of being depressed, not knowing how to start, not knowing when to start, not having the motivation to start. So I'm a little free game. I wanted to pass on to you guys today that my therapist actually from a few years back, I don't actively see her, but when I was going through some harder stuff in my life, I spoke with her probably like 5 or 6 sessions, and she told me,
Mr. Bradley. Mr. Bradley.
if you want to start something, or if you want to tackle a huge task, just start with the easiest possible step that you could possibly think of. The way that she explained it to me was, say you were trying to clean your room and you're looking around and your room's a mess, and the studio is actually a mess. So it's not actually too hard for me to imagine. But if you imagine your room being a mess, what is the easiest thing you could possibly clean off? So if your bedstand has like 4 things on it and 3 of them don't need to be there, is that what you need to do? Do you need to go into that and just clean that off? Or do you need to just clean that little corner of your room? Do you need to pick up the clothes? Because that's the simplest thing, but just do the easiest step, because a lot of times that'll ease a lot of your apprehension, just getting started. Because once you're rolling, you know what to do after that. You'll clean the rest of your room. It'll get clean. Eventually, like, it'll look brand new, but the hardest part oftentimes is starting. So guys, I encourage you, in your personal lives, if you have something that you're caught up on, if you have something that you're struggling with, if you have something, because a lot of times I struggle with this, just getting started. And if you're having issues getting started, if you're having issues feeling motivated to get started, just try doing the easiest thing possible. If it's to clean your room, clean the easiest part. If it's to do your homework, do the one problem you know how to do. If it's editing this video, for me, I need to just break that. I know how to do the intro. All right, I'll do the intro. All right, I know how to do this part. Then I'll do this part. And then eventually you start to just take small bites out of a bigger picture. Because a lot of times the big anxiety comes from seeing the full picture, not just seeing what the first step is or what the next step is. The reason I'm talking about this in reality is, so I started a new channel with Sergio called The Cannabis Library. And The Cannabis Library, please go subscribe to that. That would help us a lot. But we're starting a travel cannabis show. And we're going to be going to new cities and kind of showing the cannabis scene around these new cities. And we started in Oklahoma City. And the first episode we're doing, like I said, is in Oklahoma City. We're featuring a couple shops, went to an event, a whole bunch of cool stuff that we're doing. But it's a big project. And it's a project of a size that I haven't personally done before. And being in front of the camera, that was natural, that was easy. And some of those parts still took a little bit learning, but especially taking a lot of learning in post, in the editing, and the patience it takes, and the time it takes, and writing little scripts, and getting organized, and getting things in the order that you want them. And so I've been looking at it like, shit, how am I going to finish this whole 30-minute episode or whatever I'm trying to do, 15 to 30 minutes, somewhere in there, minute episode, when I'm used to editing kind of like this sit-down normal form. I'm editing now different scenes, like different transitions, different music. I need to look at how many songs I can add, but not be too much. How loud does music need to be? How does it color grade? But do I need to think about all that stuff? Or do I need to think about, all right, let's get the intro done today? And then the next day, all right, well, that's the event. So let's edit the event. Let's see how we can make the event look cool and I'm appealing to people. Oh, next we have one first shop. Okay, perfect. So let's break down the shop. Let's see what was cool about that shop. What we need to highlight about, like, these are the things that me personally I need to be focusing on. Not looking at it as a huge project. So a lot of this episode is really just me talking to me, a little pep up speech. But for you guys also, because I know we all go through these times where life just seems overwhelming. And the crazy thing is, it's the bed I made. Now I just have to lay in it. You know what I'm saying? Like, I went out there and filmed the show. It was a lot of it was my idea. Like a lot of it was so like the filming. I was like, I can edit it. So a lot of this stuff I put on my own shoulders, but I don't think it's too much for me to carry or too much for me to take. I would definitely appreciate you guys' support. And also, I am smoking on some of our rocket fuel. Got it here, rocket fuel, and I actually mixed it with some headband, and it's giving me nice. I smoked some of this earlier, but if you guys are interested in rocket fuel or some 50 milligram Delta 8 edibles, they're now available on legallyliftedtx.com. So that's just if you guys are interested in any Delta 8 products. If you have any questions about that, feel free to DM me at whoisgpat. I always feel compelled to say to people, like, you always got to light the J back up. Yeah, I got fucking fan sitting right here, a fan right here, and a vent right here. So it's putting it out constantly. Which I don't really mind because or else it'd just be smoking it for me. So you guys, when you're feeling overwhelmed, do what you can. That's really what this all comes down to. Do what you can at that moment because you can't control everything else. You can't control the outside factors. You can hardly control the end product. All you can control is like what you're doing at that time. And then when you do get to the end product, now you have control of it because there is an end product. But if there's no end product, what end product do you have control over? You only have control over the bit you're doing today, the piece you're doing, the frame you're doing today, the room you're cleaning today, the job you have to do today, the homework assignment you do today, the play you have to run today at practice. Like, those are the only things we have control over at the end of the day. We don't have control over the championship game in 20 years. If we make it that far, we only have control over doing the best we can at 10 on the field. It's crazy to think about, but it's also, for me, a little bit freeing. And then I also see how, for some, like how marijuana can cause anxiety for people on two sides, two different types of anxiety. Because I've met people who have anxiety because when they smoke, they don't feel like doing a lot. And when they don't feel like doing a lot, that inactivity makes them anxious. And then I know some people who smoke and just anxiety, like things around them are now making them anxious. Those are two different types of anxiety to me. Because some people, it's like weed is a trigger to cause me to feel lazy or not want to do anything or eat bad foods, which then make me not do anything. So maybe I shouldn't smoke. And then there's the people who are like, when I get in big tight spaces or whatever and I smoke, like I get super, super nervous, and I like that's a different type in my opinion. But both are reasons kind of to be wary and to be smart about where you're smoking, how you're smoking, how much you're smoking, and with whom you're smoking. Because like all my episodes are really always about kind of internally thinking within about what's best for ourselves. Because that's what this all comes down to. That's what life all comes down to, is what's best for me. We can't really control what's best for others. Maybe for your child to a certain age. But other than that, like, we can only really be worried about what's like best for us. And not to say, like, fuck everybody else. Like, I'm not worried about what anybody else is thinking. But it is to say we don't have control over that. So, guys, don't let inactivity help you, like, make you anxious, cause you anxiety. Do what you love. Do what you need to do to keep your brain healthy, And it's tough. It's weird. Like, the easiest thing is to be inactive and be bored. That's the easy choice. Because boredom's a choice at the end of the day. I've read some Malcolm Gladwell books where he talks. Was that Malcolm Gladwell? I don't know who it was. I think it was a Malcolm Gladwell book where he was writing about how boredom is truly a choice. Like, turning your mind off to not force yourself to think about something different, to like focus you in on something, is a choice at the end of the day. People in prisons find ways to stay engaged because it's like it's your brain. It's how you choose to use it at that time and how you choose to utilize it. Because it's just like, it's crazy. Every step of life, like you look back and you're like, damn, I had so much more time back then, you know? I don't know. I like talking to old people because of that. It makes me feel even younger, you know? Because right now, mid 20s, I'm like, damn, back in high school, I had hella time. College, I had hella time. In college, I was saying in high school, man, I had more time to do shit. Actually, that's not true. I probably had more time in college than high school, but that's the last time that would be the case. Because now looking back at college, I had so much time, and eventually I'll get married and have kids, and I'll look back at this time and be like, what the hell? I had all that time. And then each kid after that, depending on how many you just have less and less time to yourself. And then when you get older, you simply don't have that much more time. Only time we have is like right now. And as cliche as that is, it's crazy to think about. We just don't have limitless time, you know? And really, thank God we don't, because we would waste it if we did. Many people would waste it. Use the time you have wisely, guys. I'm trying to. I'm not perfect. I definitely don't always use it the best I can, but definitely trying to. If you don't know what to do, you're in a bind and you have something big to tackle, or you even have something small to tackle, just think to yourself, what's the easiest possible thing I can do to get started? Do that thing, and then get started.